There was a photographer that set up, a photo shoot, for a bride and a groom. But this particular photo shoot was canceled. Now, people, were applauding the photographer, for her response to a bride who demanded her to return her non-refundable deposit back. Now, most people do have a non-refundable deposit. You're taking away people's time. They're setting aside a day for you or a time for you. And if you wasn't going to be serious, you shouldn't have booked that time because they could have booked someone else. So she wants her deposit back, not because of, hey, she thinks she's going to flake or maybe she chose the wrong person. No. So this particular photographer is named Shakira Rochelle. That's her name. And she's based out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Now, she shared an Instagram post in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement on June the 5th. And a client that had booked Shakira for, upcoming wedding and saw the post and soon reached out to her to cancel. So if you could see here, it says, "Hi, Shakira." It said, "I'm sorry that we are requesting a refund on a deposit for our wedding." He said, "We have done a lot of talking. We cannot bring ourselves to support anyone who is so outspoken on matters that simply do not concern them, as well as someone that does not believe that all lives matter." He said, "We would be truly embarrassed to have you at our event and feel that you aren't stable enough to complete the job we need from you. Please let me know when and how we can expect a refund. And we are requesting to be relieved from our contract." Well, Shakira responded back and she said, "I'm sorry to hear that. And unfortunately, the contract you signed states that your deposit is non-refundable. I will email you a cancellation agreement shortly that will require your signature to forfeit your date. I wish you a lifetime of growth, and I'd like to thank you for your donation to Black Lives Matter." He said, "You will be hearing from our attorney." Well, what the attorney going to do? You signed the contract. You should have read it. That was in there. If you didn't agree with the deposit, you shouldn't say, "You know what? I don't want to do this because I don't agree." So what should the lawyer going to do? And you know what? When you got a lawyer, everybody else got a lawyer too. They always like to tell people that you'll be hearing from my lawyer. Okay. I mean, what, that's supposed to scare me or something? So she, shared it, like I said, to everyone on Instagram. And everybody, like I say, was bigging her up on that, saying that she's not going to tolerate, customers like that, and rightfully so. And listen, when she said that it doesn't involve her, yes, it involves her. It do involve her because she got to live in this country. And if she live in this country long enough and the demographics is constantly changing, we having fundamental change here in America, whether they like it or not. They can go out kicking and screaming. They can, try to lynch black men, in retaliation. They could try to tear down, lynching monuments like one of them done recently and threw it down a ravine. They can do all what they're doing right now, but they're not going to stop the change. And Shakira is trying to understand and let people know, look, I'm open for business for whoever. I don't want no racist customers. I want whoever wants to take pictures with me, I'll do that. I don't want to alienate people because that's dumb to alienate anybody. But you know what? To take a stand and say, hey, racism against black people is wrong. That is a righteous position. That's not a wrong position. It's not. And everyone should have that particular attitude because this country has systemically targeted black people with a lot of human rights violations. America is in violation of a lot of human rights violations. A lot. And they have been able to skate by and no one pay attention to it because before, we didn't have the connectivity of the internet. We didn't have, cameras back in the day like we do now. So the world is seeing this and the world is saying, hey, America, you can't sit up here and violate international law. This is why Trump don't want it to be globally connected here in America. He wants it to be isolated because isolated, they can do whatever they want. But globally connected, they're going to call America out on their BS. They're going to say, hey, wait a minute. You can't talk about the Chinese Communist Party and their abuses to their people, and yet you're shooting black people down in the street. So that's why they don't want that, to be connected globally. But no matter what is going to happen, regardless if they like it or not. But, I would say shout out to Shakira for putting that white supremacist Karen in her plates, because that's exactly what she deserves. We're talking about, embarrassed of having her there. Like, who wants to be at your event? Like I said, people don't need that kind of money. But leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about the situation with this photographer. Like I said, if you're willing to put in work, if you're willing to show that, hey, you serious, hey, you all good with me.